What's going on, guys? I'm very excited today for another Hobgood Reviews, and today I'm excited to be reviewing Kingsman: The Golden Circle, the sequel to Kingsman: The Secret Service back in 2015, directed by Matthew Vaughn, starring Colin Firth, Taron Egerton, and Mark Strong. As among others, this has a great cast such as Jeff Bridges, Channing Tatum, Halle Berry, Julianne Moore, and Sir Elton John. This movie is fantastic. I think it's a great sequel. Let's start with the positives. I think it's a great sequel to Kingsman. I think it pays homage to the first enough, and yet being different from the first. I love all the performances are great. The action sequences are fantastic. One of my favorite performances, Julianne Moore as the villain. She's fantastic. She's scary. She is conniving and creepy, and just I was expecting a more reserved villain, but what we got was just so like the rest of the movie, over the top, and it worked so well. Let's see. I love the additions of more mechanical, like in the first one we had Gazelle with the blades for legs, but this one we got so much robot stuff, which is really cool. We got robot dogs, we got a robot arm, we got all these cool stuff. No spoiling. I'll try my best not to spoil. There's maybe one thing I might spoil a little bit, so if you're worried about that, go see the movie and then come back and watch this. See, the jokes were great. I think they worked. They were well made, well done, well written. Like I said, the action scenes were great. The opening action sequence was really cool. The character arcs were really good. Colin Firth, his back is Harry, as you've probably seen from the trailer. And what they do with his character is so different from the first one, and it's just I wasn't expecting it. What they did with the character. But I'm glad they did it because I think it makes sense. Like I said, no spoilers. I won't go into what his character goes through in this film, but I think it's awesome. I think it's really cool what they did with it. Let's see. Let's start with some negatives. This is where it's going to be a little spoilery, kind of. Sir Elton John. I think they overused him because he's actually in the movie more than Channing Tatum is. So Elton John is in the movie more than Channing Tatum is. And I think that they used him too much. I think he was in it too much. I would have preferred, he was in the movie a lot. And I would have preferred maybe one or two jokes with him. And then there's one action sequence near the end of the movie that uses one of his songs with that. And then that's it. I would have preferred that to be in it. But he's in it so much more than I think it needed. Not putting down Sir Elton John. I think Elton John's amazing. I think he's a legend, but I think that they used him too much for humor in this film, it's not that bad of a negative, but it is a negative. Another negative I have is, like I said earlier, I think they do pay homage to the first, but there are some scenes in this movie that are almost exactly from the first movie. They tweak it a little, but it's pretty much the same scenes, which is okay. Okay, sure. Overall, though, I think this film is a very worthy sequel. Matthew Vaughn, I love anything he does. And this is, from what I remember, I think this is his first sequel he's ever done, because he didn't do Kick-Ass 2. That was someone else, and I think that's why Kick-Ass 2, I'm not getting into Kick-Ass today, but I'm just saying that Kick-Ass 2 wasn't as good as Kick-Ass 1, I think partly because Matthew Vaughn didn't come back. But this one, I think, is a worthy sequel to Kingsman because Matthew Vaughn directing. And I'd like to see a third. However, I'd only want to see it if Matthew Vaughn comes back. I'd only want to see it if Matthew Vaughn returns, or at least if he doesn't direct, I would like to see him write the film, write the screenplay. But I definitely want him to come back and direct if they do a third, which we'll see at the box office how well this one does. Because I went and saw it last night, and there wasn't a lot of people in the theater, which I was surprised because I mean, the first Kingsman when it opened, it didn't have a great audience because no one really knew what it was. But it slowly got word of mouth going and became this huge hit. But this one, people already knew about the first one, I feel, at this point, and yet there still wasn't a huge audience. At least at the screening I went to, there wasn't a lot of people. There wasn't as many people as I was expecting. So we'll see how the box office does. Maybe it'll do the same thing as the first one. Word of mouth will spread, which I'm hoping it does. I think it's a good movie. I think it's a really good movie. One thing I got to mention, though, there is a John Denver song in this movie that I feel has been following me around this year because it was the same songs featured in Alien Covenant, Logan Lucky. I saw a Studio Ghibli film, Whisper of the Heart, which I had never seen before, and that song is in that as well. And it's also featured in this film. So I don't know if it's the year of this John Denver song or not, but sure. But that's going to be about it for my review of Kingsman: The Golden Circle. See the movie. Let me know what you guys think in the comments when you see it. So don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you on Wednesday for the continuation of my David Fincher series.